Hi, I'm Serge Rodnunsky, and this is the Serge Rodnunsky Film Academy, and I'm here to help you fund, shoot, and sell your film for maximum artistic and financial success. This is the beginning of the course, and I thank you very much for participating and being a part of the process. This is a 30-year plus brain dump, for lack of a better term, of working on almost 50 films. I started picking up more and more as I went along. So at first I was just more of a performance person and a writer, and then I started developing skills pretty early on. After my first or second film, I started shooting and editing and doing sound, and so working on everything. How do you absorb this course? That's a good question. It's no frills. There's not going to be fancy editing or any kind of, it's just me talking about all the detail that goes into every possible aspect of production. You're going to get so many tips and tricks and workarounds and ways of looking at things and perspectives here, that's super important for independent filmmaking. Everything from figuring out how to finance your projects to shooting them and how to crew and cast and post-production, production, all the politics, every aspect of distribution and how to pick projects, what type of genres to work in, how to work in the different genres. And I do full breakdowns on locations to cinematography to sound to editing to every aspect of our production is in this course. Now, how do you absorb all that? Well, you can just watch section by section if that's your interest, but I suggest you watch it all. You should watch it all. Why? Because as a filmmaker, if you want to be a filmmaker, or if you just want to be an actor, or if you want to be a cinematographer, the more you know about all aspects, the better. Utilize this course just by sitting and watching, as you go, and kind of stream it and then watch it again. And if you're into a production, watch one section that you're working on. Great reference material, but plus it gives you a lot of workarounds. The amount of information you're getting in here will probably save you tens of thousands of dollars on any production. Even if you're doing a microfilm, you're going to save so much time and money not going down rabbit holes, not wasting time on certain areas that don't work, because I've experienced all these. I've blown so much money on stuff that didn't matter. And then I've not spent money where I needed to spend money. So you're going to learn a lot of tips. This is a work in progress for me too. I've been working on this for a number of years now. I've been shooting all the modules and all the different sections. It's taken a long time to write and develop, but it's here for you now, and you can use it as reference as you go. But I would just stream the whole thing as much as you can do at any one time. Sit through an hour or two, maybe a few days later, sit through another hour. A lot of it will seem very obvious if you've done production, but there's subtleties in there, and I add and embellish, and you'll go, well, wait a minute, I should have done that instead of this and that instead of this. And those little small things add up a lot. I also do a full analysis on 3 different films here. So we're going to do action, we're going to do a horror, and we're going to do a comedy. Those are really fun to go through, and you'll be watching the films as we go through the analysis. It really get your mind around how to create different projects as a filmmaker. Overall, what I could say, it's just like when you want to learn a new song, a singer or a musician, you listen to the song over and over and over again until it just becomes a part of you. And then you don't really even know why you know it, but you know it. And then you really get into the nitty gritty of how the song is, the chords or the notes or the words. But here, what you want to do is just at first passively just watch, and then you'll absorb and you'll remember a lot of the detail, and you won't even know that you remember the detail. And then if you get into a production and you're in some aspect and you want to review, then you use it as reference, just like you would a book, rereading a chapter in a section in a book. But there's a lot of material here. So in some ways, it's addictive. So especially if you're really interested in film. If you're a serious filmmaker and this is your passion in life, this is so instrumental. The information I've provided here is so instrumental in helping you to be successful. Even if you're casually, or if you're just into a specific area of filmmaking, one aspect of film affects all the aspects of film. So your budget size affects your casting ability, affects your crew size, affects the distribution. And so all of it's tied together, and how you're lighting and the time and speed you have to light. And so every aspect of production affects every other aspect of production. So it's really important that you watch and learn, or just at least one time go through each section to understand what's going on in the process. I brought to this a lot of information from having done so many films and all the pitfalls and successes I've had as a filmmaker. Now, not everything I say is, the be all end all. You will need to listen to a lot of different sources, but each section has so many tips that will save you lots of time and lots of money. The technology will always be changing, and how we view films will always be changing. I mean, if you think about it from the beginning, we were watching 35 millimeter silent, and then it went to sound, and then we had television, and then we had our own video and cassettes and VHS, and then DVDs, and then now we have streaming, and we're watching in different formats. We're watching on our iPads, we're watching on our little phones, we're watching on big screens. We're also still going to the theaters. And the effects are changing a lot. The big Marvel tentpole projects, the animation, and the way that we're seeing now AI is coming in, and that's a big deal, how films will be produced in the future. But still, there's scripting and storytelling and emotions, and we are always going to have our physical bodies with two eyes and two ears, and the way we absorb the world, and we'll still have the cycles of life, and those things will never change. We're still going to want to see stories that are compelling and interesting and fun, and the style of them may change, but there's still going to be three-act structure, and there's still going to be some type of image capture and some type of display. So this kind of a course in that way is timeless. The aspects of cameras will change, and the way we record will change, and the way we deliver will change, and the distribution will change, and the formats will change. But I cover most of that in this course, how the future will be changing, and distribution will change, and the way we finance pictures will change too. But I try to adapt. I've tried to be adaptive, and I will continue to add to this parts to each section as I see that things are needed to be updated. So enjoy the course and dig in and find if you're in one specific area, if you really like cinematography or sound, or if you really want to get into writing, or if you're looking for financing, or if you want to know more about distribution. You can go to a specific section, but I recommend watching it all in whatever period of time is convenient for you. And then coming back to it as reference. There's a lot of detail, even, sometimes you gloss over a section, and then as you're in production, you may go, oh, wait a minute, I should have listened to that a little bit more. Sometimes when you're describing as a guide an area, like you need to walk over that part and then go to the left and then go to the right, and that's how you're going to get there without avoid the alligators and avoid the cliff on the south. So there's those kind of nuanced details of the path that sometimes it's easy just to gloss over. But when you're in the moment, now you're going, oh, wait, what did he say? To go right and then left, or left and then right? Nice to go back, and you have the opportunity to go back and watch again certain sections if you're facing that situation. I'm available for consulting as well, and I hope that you have fun with this course, and I'm glad you're here, and let's get going.